The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andrei and Brian. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. My name is Brian Brewer, along with my co-host, as always, Andrei Yermejev, and today we have a special guest. I'm actually coming to you live from the beach, so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the beach house behind me here, but this is a testament to what can happen if you build an online business. Now, speaking of building an online business, today's guest is growing his online business fairly rapidly. We actually saw him at Funnel Hacking Live, and he was one of the people who jumped in and said hello. We had a great conversation in that episode, albeit short, so we decided why not bring him back for his own full episode. He's been through the make money online game, just like many of us have, trying many different things like Forex and, of course, affiliate marketing and some other things that maybe he'll talk about. Let us know if it was successful or not. But now he runs his own program called Passive Income Blueprints, and he has won a 2 Comma Club award for his efforts with that program. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot to learn about building a business today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Eric Forner. How are you today, buddy?
Doing well, my friend. Doing well. It was absolutely amazing seeing both you and Andrei at the ClickFunnels event, my very first one. But, today I'm doing phenomenal. I couldn't ask for anything more. Business is growing and changing lives rapidly. That's what it's all about.
Changing lives. That's an interesting topic, right? But before we start going on like how you're changing other people's life, how did this business change your life, Eric?
Well, it was a struggle from the beginning, but it's changed my life in the sense to where I don't have to worry about any bills. I don't have to worry about any kind of restraints from a boss. I don't have to worry about fighting with my wife about, income coming in. I don't have to worry about making somebody else rich. I was able to, build something fairly rapidly, like Brian had said, but it's changed my life in many more different ways. I was able to give back more. And throughout my life, I have a pretty crazy story, but I've taken a lot throughout my life, and I left a lot of people hanging because of my inactivity of being part of society, right? And I was always trying to go against the grain, and now I'm living life on life's terms. So, I look at things and opportunities differently than I did in the past. Before, I was looking for a come up, and now it's more of like, how can I, move forward each and every day and still provide value and still be able to, have a good relationship with my wife and my son and all of these different things. They kind of unfolded almost overnight. It seems like, money's not like primarily the biggest thing, but it does create a lot more opportunity in your life, right? Happiness, bills, not worrying about that, or going to the gas pump and looking at your bank account. Before, I just stick the thing in the nozzle in the car, now the truck, I just turn it on and I walk in the store, get my goodies, and I come back out, it's filled, and I just leave. And it's, it's not a stress anymore. So it's changed in more just money, but more my relationships have actually flourished.
It's interesting that you talk about not worrying about the gas pump. I have a truck as well. So it's going to be $100 worth of diesel probably each time, and you don't have to think about it anymore. And that's what it's all about. We had a previous guest who did the same sort of thing. She was mostly doing affiliate marketing, but she had built a business rapidly. And she would talk about, being able to just buy the organic strawberries. It's those little things that just make you feel so much lighter and really make life more enjoyable. Because although you have the 2 Comma Club award for generating over $1 million with your business behind you, it's not really about the $1 million. It's really about the freedom and the relationships improve as well. Your life evolves when you don't have to worry about the stresses of that income. So you talked about the shift from, you used to take or look to get yours or leave other people hanging. And then you had this shift where it was more about giving back. And that was really the pivot point for you, right? Where everything got better and started to improve. So what was it in you, or what did you see that helped you realize you needed to make that shift? And what did that look like?
Well, it was my 5th time in prison, my 6th DUI. My second one happened in Arizona. And so you get 2 DUIs in Arizona, you're going to prison, and it was my 5th DUI. My sister actually, let me grab this book real quick. My sister, she's a self-made millionaire as well, but way before I did. She never got into the trouble, but she sent me this book called Ask and It's Given. And that's kind of like when it all started, is when I read this book and I had the realization, like, throughout my life, I left my family hanging. I was out there, still working my job and my construction job, but it all pretty much started the last time I was in prison. And that was just but 4 years ago. I've been out. I'm still on parole today, with all the classes, all the requirements of probation and parole on top of everything else. I built $1 million business on parole, which is crazy. But it all started when I read this book called Ask and It's Given. And it opened my eyes up to like a little bit of a manifestation and being in the here and now. Before I was trying to live in the future and dwell on my past. And you're in the ClickFunnels event, but your past and your current is the same, right? But it's all the state of mind. And I didn't really realize that, and how much I was taking from other people, taking myself and remove myself from the situation of life and family. And I was that selfish individual that would go to jail, go to prison and all these other things. But I was putting my family in prison as well. And I had this really epiphany moment. My sister sent me this book out of the blue. She didn't write me a letter. She didn't do nothing but sent me this book and said, read it, it'll change your life. And I read this book and I learned how to manifest my dreams and my desires basically by being in the here and now. I started this little vision box and everything that I wanted in the future. I wish I would have brought it to the show with me, but it's full of just, what I'm going to do in the future. And there's just stuff full, and I can almost go through each one of them and mark it off and check it off that it happened. I have a wealth wall behind me and it's part of the process, but that's when it all kind of like came to realization, came to full, like the vision of everything that's gone on in my life in the past and what's in the future. And that's kind of like when it started, my brother. I'm 43 now, and I was, I think, 38 sitting in prison. I was in the intake center where you have to sit there for 45 days. You get out one time a day. That's basically to, use the shower and do a little bit of recreation and call your family. And I spent most of my time, man, just reading books and indulging into, why I acted and thought the way I did. And it all stemmed from my childhood, really. But that's when I had the epiphany moment, man. Just about 4 years ago. And I was sitting there. I received this book from my sister. It sat on my little bookshelf for about a week. I didn't even pick it up. And then I read it, and then it kind of opened my eyes to a whole different possibility.
Yeah, that's super awesome that you were able to fix your mindset, before you were thinking about making money. I think that's really more important, in order for you to make money in the future. From there, you clean yourself, you start giving back to the community, you started creating your own program. But first, you started as an affiliate marketer, right? Like you were promoting just regular products.
Yeah, I started actually with MLM. It was with Euphoria Science. Basically, they formulate a vitamin based off your DNA and all the variances. So once I sold pretty much to all my friends and family, I wasn't good at getting referrals from everybody. And, hey, I think Betty Sue would love your product too. I wasn't good at that. So I pretty much sold my whole friends and family. I made about 7K. Well, once that ran dry, I jumped into Cutco knives and again sold the exact same people in my family and friends that were trying to back me up and root me on, but I just couldn't extend myself further. So, with MLM, it was really hard because they have a lot of limitations on how you can actually promote the product. You can't collect name and email. You have to do like party kind of situations. And at the time it was COVID, so I couldn't go do home visits and do parties. I had to do like these things online, which was completely out of my realm. I was a construction worker. I still to this day can't even type 20 words per minute. And so it all started with MLM, and then it went to drop shipping. I tried that for, a month or two. And then I tried to do Amazon affiliates. And I started doing that, and I started getting some traction with the Amazon affiliate stuff, but I really wasn't helping anybody. All right. And then I jumped into Legendary Marketer, and that's kind of like when it opened my eyes to more possibilities. Is like when it really truly started. But yeah, affiliate marketing is pretty much where I started and stuck with up to this point.
So when you were doing the Amazon affiliate stuff, what was your traffic generation strategy? And then how did that shift or remain the same when you went over to start seeing success with Legendary Marketer?
Yeah, so it was really tough. I had to build a following first before I got approved to be an Amazon affiliate, and so the traffic pretty much was on TikTok and then Facebook, and I was just driving people to different products into that link. I got shut down on Amazon affiliates actually like 3 times because I had an opt-in page before collecting their name and email before it went to the product. So I was like they ding me there, and I'd done something else, ding me there. I just kept getting dinged and dinged and dinged, but I just wouldn't give up, So I would pretty much promote those products, which I am an Amazon affiliate. I'm legit now. And so, but I sell like my microphones and my, different odds and ends when people ask me, hey, what kind of microphone do you have? Or, what kind of computer do you have? So I'll send out affiliate links that way. But primarily I was promoting on TikTok and Facebook, just putting out posts. Hey, check out this microphone, or hey, check out this phone case. It was just little things like that. It wasn't bringing any kind of substantial income in, and it wasn't fulfilling, right? It was just, hey, I got a business going of some sort. So that's kind of like where it all started. To answer your original question, was TikTok and was Facebook.
And then how did you get introduced to Legendary Marketer and more of the high ticket affiliate marketing stuff?
So I was scrolling Facebook one day and I seen Jonathan Montoya, his post come across my page, and it was something about making like $10,000 your first month, only investing $7. And I was like, ooh, I'm on it. Right. So I jumped right into that opportunity. And when I jumped in, I was like overwhelmed. I went to the day number 3. I was just got out of prison at this time. And I was only like 5 months out, maybe. And I went to the day number 3 with Legendary, and then they hit me for, do your business plan, talk to a business advisor. Well, I got on the business advising call on day 5, and I just had it was just a bad experience. They were telling me, I told them I was on parole. I got limited everything. My credit score is 410. And he's like, well, what about your mom? What about your dad? Who can help you? And they're just kind of like, I just felt really icky about it. So I still liked the process because I seen so many people having success. So what happened was I got off that call, and then I reached out to an individual that was having a lot of success, not only with affiliate marketing, but coaching and consulting. And that was my first mentor. So I never got the blueprints from Legendary. It was a complete different direction. My marketing strategy was different. I resonate with my audience. So that's kind of like how it all began with LM. And then within 4 months, I hit 40K. So I was my first month with my mentor. It was 21 days. I made $19,558.72 after I invested with him. And how we invested with him was through PayPal credit. My wife, she said, I'm going to do this. I'm tired of you grinding away every night. You have no time for us. You work 12-hour shifts, come home. That's all you do is sit in this room and try to make something happen. And she didn't see the vision, but she wanted me to figure something out. So she actually used her credit. She barely got qualified for that loan. It was $3,500. I think we got qualified for 4K. And within, like I said, 19 days or 20 days, I had paid that back. And, I was thinking about actually quitting my job. So it kind of just all originally started with clicking on Jonathan Montoya's link, say making $10,000 your first month guarantee with $7. Like, absolutely, I'm on it. And I went down that rabbit hole, just like many of us do. But yeah, that's kind of like where it all started, brother.
Yeah, that's super awesome, because I also was working, so many hours in the restaurant manager job, and I would get home and work extra hours on my laptop. So at some point, my wife was mad at me not being present, right? She was definitely mad at me. I was not there for her. I was not there for my daughter. So I understand, when you have a vision, you have to pull through those hard moments in order for you to accomplish greater things, right? Now,
Absolutely.
you had a really bad experience with your business plan advisor from Legendary Marketer. Did that basically kill the whole program for you, or can you say what's your honest opinion about the program itself?
Well, it's a lot of copy and paste, clickbait kind of material, right? After having that amount of success, I was still going live on TikTok, and all the people I signed up to make that 40K were getting on my live on TikTok and complaining back to me about like, hey, I invested the 2,500. I'm in the decade of the day. I'm not getting any help. There's 200 people in there. I can't get my questions answered. And so the business advisor is more of a salesperson, right? And they probably should have got a better salesperson, but either way, he was just really pushy. Like, he didn't understand my situation. Like, I was the lowest you could possibly get low, right? I was that or death. And I was just got out of prison on parole, had tons of classes, tons of fines, all those different things. But it kind of like ruined it for me when I sold this dream to individuals using the same marketing strategy. Make your first $10,000. It's super easy. Just invest $7. I would leave out the part it was $2,500. And then my mentor sat me down and said, look, you put together something by the personal branding you're learning, by using story selling and storytelling that I've taught you. Why don't you build your own program? Because there are so many individuals coming back to me complaining that they are posting in the Facebook group and they weren't getting their questions answered for 3 days. So a lot of them would quit, or they'll go down another rabbit hole and they're just getting frustrated. So I was hearing all the backlash on all of that. Some were successful. I would say out of the 100 people I signed up, maybe 2 are making 10K per month. And that was not on my bill. Like that was, not me coaching them. That was just luck of the draw. They were unicorns, right? And so it all kind of like just transformed there. And I got a bad taste in my mouth. I still liked that there was an offer that I was able to promote because I did not have my offer. But as soon as my mentor said, hey, let's sit down and build out your own program. It started with the very first cohort. I done 2 cohorts, done a mastermind, then I launched my own stuff. But when I done that and I said, hey, my calendar is open, all those people I sold Legendary Marketer to, believe it or not, came back and bought my product. And it was only I think it was like $600 for a 4 or 6 week a mastermind. And out of the 20 or so people I signed up, 6 of them within that 6 weeks went to the Wake Up Show. So they got their first high ticket sale. Like my strategy was truly just crushing it. And so that's when it put a really bad taste in my mouth, because at that time I would have 200 book calls a month. 80% of those book calls came from LM, right? And I'd say 40, maybe 50% of that 90, they purchased the blueprints, right? So I seen need in the market to actually help people in a different way, find their voice, find, use their avatar and all those different things. Not that Legendary is a horrible company. I just think they've grown so big, they lost attention to detail possibly, right? And, I was getting a lot of complaints that, the training's from 2016 and it was 2022. And like all these different things were just coming to me. Like I was the person that it was my program, and it wasn't. Like I was starting to feel like an imposter, a counterfeit, because I was ruining people's lives, being where I came from, prison, and doing all the things I did. And I wanted to change and I wanted to give back more. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse anymore. So I wanted to really focus on how I can help people get a transformation as soon as possible by using their own voice, their own past experiences, their job experiences. If they're a bookkeeper, then they have, their attention to detail. They could do spreadsheets, all these different things we can apply to this business. And people don't realize that even construction, we can use for the delegation and reading blueprints and all these other things, these skills that we were taught, 20 years in the field. That's what I incorporated. So, I don't know if I went over the question you asked, but that's kind of like how I kind of started it, man. It was just, I felt a bad way about something. I've seen a solution to a problem and I capitalized on it.
That's something that I talk about all the time with some of my students. When we talk about getting into the make money online game or industry or niche or whatever you want to talk about, there's a lot of folks out there who don't feel confident in their ability to help other people so they can then in turn earn the income. So it really holds them back with their mentality towards it. But what I tell them is exactly what you did, Eric. You went out there and you found a problem for yourself. You wanted to invest in some sort of education and you didn't like this part about one thing. So you solved your problem. You went out and you found a mentor who did things a little bit differently that worked out for you. And then what do you do after that? You turn around and help other people solve the same problem. And you become the leader through your experience. And that's really what this is all about. Even if we're selling coaching or information or courses, we're in the leadership business. So what qualities of leadership do you have? How did you develop them? Where'd they come from? Anything you can say about your leadership style and how valuable that is to your students.
I would say my biggest one is full transparency and honesty, because growing up in the neighborhoods I was growing up in Vegas, like there's just nothing but gang members. You either one side, you were one way, you're like a rat, or you're a piece of crap at one side, or you were just a solid dude. And so I never had any problems in the 4 different prisons I've been in 4 different states. I was always that solid dude, transparent. I spoke it how it was. So I think that's one of my bigger qualities is I shoot it really straight. Even if it hurts somebody's feelings, they need to hear the truth. And I try to express that so people can come out and be them true selves and be their real selves. They don't have to sugarcoat nothing. And that's like what one of my bigger qualities or biggest qualities I think is being transparent, honest, and upfront, willing to help people is like probably my biggest qualities that I have that has got me this far, is just being 100% honest about everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's how you're being able to touch a lot of people, and also get the great results that you have achieved so far. I mean, you have a wife, you work on your relationship with her, you work on your relationship for yourself as well. You won the 2 Comma Club Award this year. I saw you walking on the stage. So a great accomplishment, and just seeing how far you've come, from there. And I'm sure you see it too, I'm sure there's some nights where you're like, wow, like my life has changed completely.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I can't believe it's real or true, and people ask me, what is your goal? I said, well, I'm gonna make 100 million by 2025. And they're like, why do you want to make that much money? It's because I can help more people, right? I can provide more value. It's not about me living in this luxury house. I still live in a trailer, brother. You know what I mean? I'm still in a trailer. I got this office outside. It's not about that for me. It's truly not. I got a brand new truck. I got some dirt bikes and stuff to have fun with, but my bank account is completely stuffed full of money. And at any time I could help any family member. I give to charity at least once a week. I put out 20% and it goes into charity, or, for funding for, the kids' birthdays or whatever it is. That funding's there. And, I give back a lot. There's a little girl across the street. It's a little less fortunate. And her, she's in a bad situation. It reminds me of myself when I was growing up. So, her last birthday, she didn't get nothing for her birthday. The little girl next door, she got this nice Power Wheel and all these other different things. So me and Jessica, my wife, the other day, we asked her, when's your birthday? She said, it's August something. She said August 2nd or something like that. And come to find out, it's like not till November. But anyways, we bought her a Power Wheel, like the biggest, baddest one you can find on Amazon, right? And put it together. It's a pink one, has a radio MP3 player on it, full shocks and all kinds of stuff, and just lit her life completely up. Like the smile that we received from that, and just the gratitude that she was like, man, this is, amazing. And she's out there driving it every day. So that's where I'm at, man, is I want to be able to give back. And it's not about having a huge mansion and Bentleys in the driveway, all these different things. It's just, I want to live on life's terms and feel so comfortable. I don't have to worry for anything, and my family worry ever for anything at all.
That's incredible. That's an amazing story. And when I hear some about your backstory, you've been through what many would consider, a tougher life, or you've had some bad experiences. And at any point, you could have used that as an excuse. Oh, I can't start a business because I'm on parole. I can't start a business because I can't type more than 20 words a minute, and I've been in prison, and I can't do this. Or you could use that and be bitter, angry at the world. But here you are, never giving up, starting a business, making it work, and then having so much gratitude for where you've come, or how far you've come, and recognize the situation you're in, and giving back to help other people who might be in that situation. So I think there's a lot of people who recognize that maybe they're bitter or making excuses, but don't know how to change that. Even if they want to change, it's hard to break patterns. It's hard to break through those walls that are holding you back. So what advice would you give someone who maybe is bitter, is making excuses? They know it, but they want to change their mindset so they can overcome them. Do you have any sort of tips or ideas?
For sure. It all starts with your why, and that's, it digs deeper than I want to make more money. Okay, well, why do you want to make more money? Well, because I want to help more people. Why do you want to help more people? Because I was less fortunate when I was growing up. But why? And just really going down to that why of why you want to do it in the first place. Number one is going to keep for long-term sustainability. You're going to be able to do it for long-term. But I just finding out that why, and what is under that why of why you want to actually make money online. Or it's not just making extra money, because at the end of the day, that's not going to last. It's not sustainable, right? You're going to have to, when you get to the $1 million mark, Andrei, you could contest to this. Brian, you can contest this. When you hit that mark, it's more than just making money, right? It truly is. And it's just like who you can help around you. So I think a person would have to dig deep and find the real reason why they want to go outside themselves and sacrifice, each and every day, and, relationships they'll lose for the cause that they want to, have on somebody, or the effect they want to have on somebody. And every day, because some days I feel like a counterfeit or imposter, like I don't know enough. It happens to probably all of us, right? The market changes, and then you start rethinking what you know, and you have to go back to the drawing board, reinvest in yourself or whatever it is. But I stick and hold true to my why of like, I don't want anybody else that comes into my area or my circle whatsoever to go through the same things I did, and I just have that transformation. So it's just, if they're bitter about whatever it is, but they have a why of why they want to do something better, well, dig a little bit deeper on that, and start uncovering different things and living in the here and now, not living in the past or living in the future and worrying about tomorrow. Because if we dwell on tomorrow, we take away from today. And so it's just living in the here and the now, and also just basically knowing your why and holding true to it.
Yeah, we had a past guest, where his name was Jim, and he said that your why could evolve too. The reason why you started doesn't mean that's the reason why you want to keep going. You get me? So that's something also to start thinking about as well. So let's talk about passive income blueprints. What are the things that you're teaching to your students? Are they complete beginners? Are they, I know you mentioned that some of them come from Legendary as well because they needed that extra guidance from you. But if a brand new beginner, first, they saw your video once, would that person be able to grab your course as well or your program and then benefit from it as well?
Yeah, so we help anybody from just starting out that has, they're problem aware and they're just becoming solution aware. And so, they know they have a problem, they want to make more money, but now we need to inspire them on a solution. So it's from the people that don't know anything about online or making their very first TikTok video all the way to individuals that are doing 10K plus per month and they go into our inner circle. So, that's kind of like how our program unfolds, taking a person within 6 months, they should have enough confidence, knowledge, and skills to actually, think about even building out their own course or, their own little guide section of some kind to teach them whatever strategies they learned over the 6 months. And I don't expect my affiliates to ride my coattails for more than 6 months. After that 6 month mark, they should be really close to hitting that 10K mark and really thinking about their next step. And a lot of them, we encourage them through that process to have the confidence, like I said, the knowledge and understanding on how to create a simple course or a cohort or a little mastermind to bring their own audience in so they can brand themselves. And what it comes down to is personal branding, story selling and storytelling. And so that's like what I base my whole business on. My complete, where I'm at today is my story.
Yeah. And then you have something that you're giving folks that's a skill set that, like you said, can be used in a wide variety of ways to sell just about anything. So let's talk now about tactics, right? One thing that I love that you said is you talked about the market changing. And I totally resonate with that because I've been doing this for 11 years now, where it's like I started with blogging and then YouTube and then you hit this and then that doesn't work. So you got to find a new strategy, then TikTok and then that, so what's working right now for you? How do you attract someone, introduce them to your story, your brand, and then bring them all the way through to becoming a customer? Do you have a framework for that that's working right now?
Yeah, I would say long story and short form content like Facebook and, maybe even YouTube. I haven't made a YouTube video in a little while and I'm still getting traction off some of the YouTube videos I've done before. But my strategy basically is I look at TikTok as a bunch of coal and I'm a coal miner and I'm going in there, or I'm a diamond miner. I'm going to go in there and mine all the diamonds. So I put out just certain kind of videos that will hit different types of pain points. It could be controversy, could be, educational, value driven or whatever, but I'm really diving into the strategy of like pain points and how I can overcome that pain point with a solution. And so that's what I really target is on the short form content platforms like TikTok. And once I inspire them enough, they're going to end up in my email list or they're going to get a call to action to join my Facebook group. So that's what my whole strategy really is bringing them from a short form content where they can't really get too much value, get away from the noise, bring them into my community where I go live quite a bit. I do free live 5-day challenges and I really sell one to many, and that's get them into my ecosystem. So that's truly my strategy. And now we're, since the ClickFunnels thing, we invested into the 2 Comma Club X, and now we're building out the linchpin and the, all of those different things with, with what he has going on over there. So that's in the process, but it's really simple. Using your storefront or your billboard on Facebook, inspire people that are coming across your feed. I do some cold outreach with my VAs. They do it, not too much, but mostly go into Facebook groups and just provide value and leave. And then they'll come hunt me down as long as we continue to provide the value. So once they see my offer, free 5-day training, it doesn't really matter if a person doesn't say they have money, because at the end of it, we have solutions to that problem too. I have funding available for people through coach financing, ease consulting. I do in-house financing. So it's like, it doesn't really matter what their objections are in the beginning, but once they get inside my ecosystem, they see how much value I deliver, and I give everything away for free. They don't realize it, but in my content and when I go live for 5 days straight, I'm pretty much giving them all the information. They just can't put it all into one bucket and actually act on it. They're going to need my assistance afterwards, and they want to be part of the community. So that's kind of like the framework now. is what we're doing. And then also emails, because as you know, you get probably 20-30% conversions on the front end, and on the back end is when the follow-up really kicks in, that 7-hour content rule or 7-time rule. A person has to see your content 7 times, or in our case, I believe it's 7 hours through case studies and testimonials. So I teach my students, any kind of win you get, like if you go out there and help somebody and they all of a sudden get 1,000 followers, or they get their funnel set up correctly when they couldn't figure it out in another program or whatever it is, use that, try to get a case study and testimonial and showcase that, because it's not about what we say about ourselves. It's about what other people say about us. That's going to give that perceived value even higher. So it's just about case studies, testimonials, providing value, people before profit. These are all little strategies we use, but basically it's just short form content, getting into my ecosystem to deliver the long form value.
That's awesome. And then let's talk about the sales process. Are you jumping on calls with the people interested? How are you able to sell, your program at the end of the free challenge that you provide in the Facebook groups?
Yeah, for sure. So at first, like I was doing 150, 200 sales calls a month, and I was my own salesperson. I tried to bring a salesperson in, so I'm closing it at like 75%. Tried to bring somebody else in, and it completely dropped. I didn't have the system set up, the automations, all that stuff. So we went from booking everybody on a call with a call setter before to bringing as many people as we possibly can into a challenge. And I will, at the end, so basically day number 1, they're going to get emails saying, hey, you want to book a call to see, put a strategy together for you. So they'll get opportunities throughout my whole challenge. So I'm actually, getting on calls with people, or Anthony, my co-CEO, he'll get on calls with people even before the challenge starts to see where people are at in their mindset. And then I offer a $5,000 scholarship giveaway for the biggest action takers throughout the challenge. So every time we've done a challenge or a webinar, perfect webinar, 3 secrets, whatever, there's always some kind of added value as whoever the biggest action taker is will receive that bonus or that scholarship. And so throughout that process, we kind of like ask them through email or through messaging if they want to jump on a call with us to figure out a strategy. If they don't, I pitch them on day 4, and then I pitch them on day 5, and it's going to go to a book call. But by the end of that 5 days, we know who is going to be action takers, who are willing to jump on the call. As an example, we had 100 people sign up for our last challenge. 28 showed up consistently, and out of that 28, we closed $40,000, right? Out of 5 days. And so it puts some people into our inner circle to start out like a $2,500 per month, but mostly it's just bringing them through that process, seeing our 7-hour rule of case studies, testimonials, and then jumping on a call as soon as possible with them. Because I don't mind doing sales calls. They used to last me an hour to an hour and a half. Now I can get done to a sales call in 30 minutes, right? Get the value. I run through my sales pitch in a sense. I bring out the value, the pain points, all that stuff, and it really runs smoothly now. To where I can get them pretty much in and out of the door within about 30 minutes. But at the end of that challenge is when we really, put the calendar out there open. We have 3 different people that will take calls. And, I'm the last one on that lineup pretty much. I will take calls at the beginning, but most of the time when they come to me, they're so qualified, they're like pulling out their money already. And so those challenges are really powerful selling one to many. And then we're going to put the continuity on top of that. And we're going to have a continuity program we're building out right now, which is going to be phenomenal. So that's the process really, but hit them from the beginning with a call, seeing if they want to jump on, if we can help them in their current business. And a lot of times we close, and at the end we close even more.
I'm really interested about what you said about, from an hour and a half to an hour and 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I want to know your framework now. Like, I'm really curious about it, let's talk about that for a little bit.
Here's my framework. All right. So I'll walk you guys through this. So first thing I do when I jump on, I still use this to this day, because a person could, when I go to the third question is, why did you jump on the call with me today? Typically a person would just vomit at the mouth of like everything that's going on in their life. They're going to tell you everything. So this framework, they could start checking off these boxes, but it starts with building rapport, finding out where they're from, this, that, and the other. We do about 2 minutes. Then set the expectations for the call. You got on this call. I'm like a doctor. You're like a patient. I'm going to give you a diagnosis off of what you tell me, and what if we can work together, if we'll be a good fit at the end. And then I identify the decision maker. If there's, say, a husband and wife, and only the wife is on the call, I'll end the call right there, and I'll have them reschedule to bring the husband back on. So I'm not asking or answering the same questions. And also, if the wife got off the call, had this great call with me, and she told him the price, he doesn't understand the value, right? I wasn't able to ask him questions. And if there's a husband and wife that gets on, and the wife is the one that's interested in the product, but the husband has his arms crossed in the back, I'll disregard and talking to her. I'm going to talk straight to him because he's going to be the problem. He's going to be the roadblock to this whole situation. I already know she's going to move forward, but I got to convince him. So once I identify the decision maker, I roll over to finding a reason, asking them, why they booked a call. What is the purpose of this? What do you want to help with making more money? What are your goals? Let's talk about your goals and your aspirations and your why. So I really talk about the why there, and I just kind of dig deep on that why, so it makes it so they could visually see in the future, not the future, but in the rest of the process, that they can relate with me like I'm just like them. And then once I do that, I dig a little bit deeper on those aspects, identify their current situation, where they're at now, where they want to be. I extract the pain through the pain points, all those roadblocks and stuff like that. And I use this all as like ammo. I put ammo in my gun. So if they ever have like a rebuttal, I'm like, oh, remember when you said you wanted to, help your sister-in-law out because she just got a divorce and all these other things, you want to put kids through college. So I start really digging deep there. And then I walk into identify where they're at currently, identify where they want to be, and then identify why they want to be there in the first place. And then get them to admit that they have a problem, they need help, and what they tried in the past truly sucked. And then I secure a commitment, and then I customize the offer. So it's pretty much simple like that. I don't have a script. Like if I walk into a call and scripted, I have more of a format, like an outline, and I can touch on any of those points based on when I ask them, why did you book a call with me? Because they'll pretty much, sometimes people will just completely vomit at the mouth for 10 minutes because on the calls, I don't do really too much of the talking. I'll ask a question, they'll give me the answer, and I'll ask another question based on the answer they just gave me, right? So I use a little bit of NLP. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but I'm sure Brian does. But I use a little NLP inside my sales calls, and it pretty much walks them through the process. So it used to take me, when I had a script trying to, make sure I got every little point, an hour and a half, an hour on a call. And it was just, at the end of the day, 5 or 6, 7, 8 calls, I'm just drained. I don't even want to move forward no more. So then I invested with Dan Henry. I'm sure you guys know who he is. I invested with him about 2 years ago or so, pretty much right before my mentor had passed away. But anyways, I invested with him, and he had a sales process that was just phenomenal. So I adapted to his sales process, made it my own, and I'm bringing in, people 45 minutes at the most.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. And like you said, you have kind of like a checklist, and you realize that the calls, they pretty much follow the same pattern for the most part, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. As long as we check them all off, and then I can actually make a custom offer for them. But you want to have everything checked off before you make an offer, because there's going to be a lot of things left out, or they're going to feel some kind of way. You're not going to answer all questions, because once you answer all the questions, they have no choice but to invest.
Right. And it's the same thing you do if you're writing a webinar. You got to follow a pattern. Things have to be in order, because if you try to skip steps, people aren't going to be ready for the offer. So what does a custom offer look like from you?
Right, for sure. So if a person came in, it depends on money, it depends on time, but if they're completely new to this, they're like, they never jumped into a program before, I'm going to customize the offer based on their needs, right? And I will customize an offer that's already customized, but I'll customize it to the understanding. So I have my like $297, if they can't afford it whatsoever, but they have all the time in the world, they still live in the basement at their parents' house, and they're working at McDonald's. Well, I'm going to hit them with the $297. But if they, they have a job and they see all these different, they see a vision in what they can do, then I'm going to hit them on the high ticket. So I kind of play, I kind of play it by ear for the most part, but I'll customize the offer to how it's going to fit their needs, and they can visually see them doing it and taking action each day. Because as soon as you open up like your offer and you start showing them all the programs, the modules, it just overwhelms them. Right. So, that just takes 20 minutes in itself, explaining each one and all that and the benefits and the features. But I talk more about the benefits rather than the features. And so when I talk about the benefits of how this can transform your life, I put myself back in their shoes. Hey, I was there once before, and I customize it as I go, depending on what they need. Personal branding. Do they want full on coaching? Do they want inner circle? But it depends on, where they're at in their business too, because my market now is not just beginners. It's people that are coming to me at a higher level, want to know how to do challenges or how to close people as fast as I close them at a 75% closing percentage, right? So they'll come onto the call and might be one specific thing off of a post. Hey, I want to learn how to close more people. Okay, perfect. So that's kind of like the process that we go through.
Yeah. Do you also have an affiliate program for your program as well?
I do.
Um,
So we have an affiliate attachment to everything.
yeah. Okay. And then how many people do you have promoting for you? Are you able to manage them? How are you able to manage those people? Are they getting results? First of all, what can you tell us about your affiliate program?
For sure. So we have 900 active affiliates, right? But ones that are actively promoting, because we have them still in the back office. People get commissions coming through all the time, even though they're promoting something else. But we have quite a bit of success. Derek and Stephanie, Rochelle and Bethany, we have all these individuals that started out at the bottom, not making any sales. And within 6 months, now they have their own coaching programs. So it's been a tough market lately because on TikTok, it's changed to SEO. Like you can't just post a video and go viral and sneeze the wrong way or sneeze the right way and it goes viral. It's not like that no more, right? So it's really targeted on your content. So the success of our students is pretty good. We have something called the 10K 90-day action plan. And we actually give a belt away for hitting 10K in 90 days, or, if they could do it a little bit longer, but it's a really nice belt you see off the WWF or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give those away. So, I would say the success is a little bit better than other programs that I've been in. You're looking at maybe 2 people out of 100 will get to 10K per month with Legendary Marketer. Well, I'm trying to increase that to like 4 or 5%. Right? Or 5 out of the 100. So, not everybody's going to actually wrap it around their mind. It just about takes consistency. And I know 100% without a doubt, if they go through my 10K 90-day action plan and stay consistent, they will make that money. But a lot of people fall off because they realize how much work it is. Right. And so, but the success rate is great and all. It's just, I think it could be higher. I don't know. It's just, we're a different breed, brother. Me, you, Brian, we're aliens. Right.
Right.
And it takes a different kind of person, or your why has to be so strong, not to start, but to keep going. We are truly aliens and we're not from this planet. And so we have to find those individuals that have, key things like in their lives, like so much like stress and anxiety, they have to find another way out, or they hate their job so much they could taste it. They have nightmares about it. Right. Those people right there, we can help them along the way. But a person, if they're comfortable in their situation, and as soon as somebody wants to make a change, they'll get to a low point and they'll make that change and they'll stay right there. There's a glass ceiling, right? And that's kind of like when people will come in, they'll make, $4,000, $5,000, think everything's peaches and gravy. They forget about the basics and then they'll stop. And so that's kind of like it is. So as far as people having success, I would say 4 out of 100 people, maybe 5 out of 100 people make $10,000 per month in my business, or what we do.
I really like your transparency there, because you can give everybody the framework or the playbook, but it really is on them in the end to go through, push through, stay consistent, and make it happen. And like I said, not everybody can do it, or it might not be the time where everybody's willing to do it. For example, someone who doesn't succeed now might succeed 3 years from now when their why gets strong enough or whatever happens. But you were talking about, the percentage of people that take action and make the 10K in 90 days. But you also said that you look for action takers when you're running your free challenge to give away a scholarship. So I'm curious, what do you look for as an action taker that ends up propelling people to the success? What sort of key traits or attributes?
For sure. I look at action takers like when you very first come into my challenge, my Facebook group, I ask you to do an introduction post video. Right. Some people will go down and make just a regular written post, but I look for the people that's never posted before, never done a video, and they're out there putting themselves out there, taking action. Now, we gamified our challenges and also our other, courses that we have. We gamified them, especially the challenges, so we can keep score on who takes action. We give them homework. One of them is like, make a written post about, your experience inside here, do an introduction video. Then we give them an avatar worksheet and then we have them submit it. So if we see people that are at the end of that doing all of those action steps, I know they have a possibility of continuing to move forward. Right. And so like if a person came to me with $30,000 and said, Eric, I want to jump in your program, but they didn't take no action, they were just not showing up and they complained, I would not accept their money because we're not a good fit. Right. Before, when I first started, yeah, let me have your money. But it's not about that anymore. It's about like, I want to see certain qualities. And that's fulfilling all the obligations we put forth. And they will work more in 5 days they had done in their entire life on their online business working with us, right? We put them through some strenuous stuff, but it breaks down barriers, and it breaks down a lot of limiting beliefs they have about themselves, making their first video or doing a testimonial. We have them go to Trustpilot too, is one of the homework assignments, which is phenomenal. You guys should do this if you're not doing it already. Is one of the homework assignments is to go do a testimonial on Trustpilot on day 4. So now I have 200 active 5-star reviews on Trustpilot about like how phenomenal this is, and the barriers they broke over, and the achievements they made, and the friends and the community and all that stuff. But the qualities is just people taking action on the homework we give them. We actually have a workbook that we give them, and they go through the workbook. We have one for each of our courses, but here's the 5-day business builder challenge. We have the 5-day call to commission as well, but there's a workbook in here with all kinds of assignments, right? And they will have to submit these assignments. And that's the people that we want to work with, that we can see having that success. Because out of 100 people we get into our challenge, we'll get 25 to 30 people actively taking action. And then we know those are the ones that are going to be willing to move forward. But it's basically, putting assignments in front of them, action steps, breaking down barriers and things they've never done before, trying to break down those limiting beliefs and giving them confidence that they can do it through storytelling. Based on my day 1 and day 2 is the epiphany moment, right? And then the hero's journey. And we go into the whole, basically 12 stories, what we go through throughout that 5 days. So it brings it takes a person with limiting beliefs, and by the end of it, they feel like they take on the world. So that's
there's
the goal.
That's incredible. There's a couple of really good conversion lessons in there, because some of the things you said are the exact same things that I do to get the conversion. And that's what people want to know about. I obviously want to help people. We want to get them to be successful through our programs. But what people really want to know at the end of the day, especially in the beginning, is, all right, how do I take a lead and make them buy something, right? That's the problem. And what you said is you do 2 things, and I do the exact same 2 things through my program as well. I have to get people to start working towards the goal. They have to have some sort of investment. It doesn't have to be money in the beginning. It just has to be an investment of writing down your avatar or building a funnel or creating your first video, right? Getting them to invest some effort will then make them more likely to then be comfortable and willing to invest their money. But the other thing that you said that I do exactly the same way is we got to get people to believe in themselves. Because when people believe in you as the creator or the seller or the marketer or whatever, they're going to pay attention to you. But when they believe in themselves, that's when they're going to take action. That's when they're going to buy. So do you have any other conversion ideas or tricks, or is it just pretty much those 2 things that really get people to progress with you?
Well, storytelling and relating with them that, hey, I know where you're at now. I can totally understand. But yeah, basically storytelling, story selling. And I go through those 12 stories, Gilgamesh, pretty much before the Bible. The Bible creates wars. It's, all those different things. The storytelling inside the Bible and before the Bible, it's based on storytelling. So it's about putting yourself in that position of somebody else and letting them believe in themselves that they could do it and achieve that obstacle or that goal. And so that's pretty much what it boils down to, is building belief. And once you build enough belief and they understand their why they even signed up for the free challenge in the first place, we put the belief and their why together and we manifest something great. And we let them we tell them, look, it doesn't matter where you've come from in your life. We're going to use that as leverage. If you're a frontline worker, if you're, whatever it is, construction, we're going to take those skills and strategies, build up that belief in you, and show you how you can use those duplicatable skills in what we do here today. And it all comes down to storytelling. And that's not like telling my deep, dark secrets. That's like telling a story on how you achieved or overcome an obstacle, or in your funnel, or whatever it may be, or making your very first TikTok, or whatever it is, putting yourself out there. So that's what it is building the belief, especially in the early stages. After that, it gets more strategic on like strategy. But early on with people, we have to build that belief, because a lot of people have a lot of limiting beliefs.
I love how you broke it down in your free challenge, how it's basically like a process of elimination, like the action takers will go through and then you'll be able to see that if they don't do the work or the homework that you have for them, you already know that those people are eliminated for the most part. So now that you're running a successful business, what new challenges are you facing nowadays?
Scaling, I would say, is actually, trying to scale and hire a team. All right. So we had 9 people on the team. It was like almost unmanageable. And I felt like I got a little lackadaisical. I got a little lazy because I didn't want to get on as many sales calls. So we hired a sales closer. Then our sales percentage went way down. I can only expect 30% out of a closer truly, but then we had to put more leads in front of that person to actually continue to hit our 100K months. Right. And so I think the biggest thing is scaling and figuring out that strategy and adapting to the market, with the continuity and all that stuff is coming, high ticket's going to become a thing of the past, especially for beginners. But when you come to a certain level of like, I want to make, 20K per month and above, it comes into more strategy. And so I think the biggest thing right now is just learning how to scale and get to that next level. It's always been an issue to try to scale from 10K to 20K and 20K to 30K. But then when you hit 50, it's almost easy to get to 100. But now we hit 1 million, is it going to be just that hard to get to 2 or 3 or 4? So I think the biggest thing is scaling and hiring a team is probably the hardest thing I've experienced so far, and finding the right people. And I recommend, if you're going to hire people, hire 10 out of 10s, because I hired people on hope that they will do good or hope that they will learn it. Right now, I'm in the market of hiring 10 out of 10s and knowing that they know how to come in and execute, rather than think they're going to get paid on their time. They're going to get paid on the performance and what they get done.
Yeah, they're gonna have to eat what they kill, man. And I like how you said, you're hiring 10 out of 10s. And the other thing you hear people say a lot when they're hiring a team is you got to hire A players. You can't hire a B player and expect them to come deliver A results in 90 days. You just hire the people who are ready to go out of the gate here. What do you, I guess I should say, where do you look for people to hire? Where do you find the candidates? How do you search them out or get them to come to you?
For sure. So I have a VA little program. It's like my little side business. But my VAs, they come from Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile, all these people. So I have a person that knows individuals in Philippines, and they go scalp them out. And so that's how I get my VAs. They're not off Upworks or any of these other places. I get my VAs from word of mouth. And typically now it's going to be based on word of mouth. You can put a Facebook post out and search that way. That's one good way. I don't go to Upwork or find people there, but it's going into these higher caliber groups or social platforms, and putting a simple post out, and then I'll do an interview process. And so I'd try to find 5 people, and then we would nail it down to basically one at the end of the day, have a few different interviews. So that's how I would try to find those people and the questions we'd ask for that specific position. But, it's pretty much word of mouth now, is rather than, trying to just go out on these different websites and finding a recruiter or all those different things. It's, finding somebody that's been in the industry that has something good to say about that individual, then we'll bring them on the phone. So that's like how I'm really trying to find people. But VAs has probably been the hardest one because, they're in the Philippines for the most part. We have a time tracker we use and all that stuff, but we'll find them at the beach, when they're supposed to be working. And I got this one VA, her name's Lucci, and she's just phenomenal. She's a VA for my sister as well, but she's like she's like the one. And I just use her. I give her $100 for every time she refers somebody to me or brings somebody in. I give her $100. And then we're paying her like $7 an hour now. And right, she started at $3 an hour. We've actually changed her life. She used to live on dirt floors, and she didn't have a refrigerator in the Philippines. Now she has an apartment with a refrigerator. She's having a baby. So, I would say that's the process, bro. Is just finding the right people, 10 out of 10s, and using word of mouth on referrals is kind of like where I'm going with it. Because then once I find that person, I'll go dig a little bit deeper and ask down the line who they worked for and what their experiences were with them.
Yeah, like not every hire is gonna be a good hire, So you have to kind of find out the right person, how you say that thing, everything. I have a person that edits my video. He's been editing my videos, and he's from Egypt, right? So, and I pay him good money for being in Egypt, and he's 18-year-old, and he's like living life great over there, because I'm paying him. Also, I also have VAs where they kind of lower my income, because they weren't that great until I found one that was amazing. And, it got to the point where I was switching stuff to my Spanish market, and she didn't speak Spanish, but I still wanted to work with her, I still wanted to give her the opportunity. So we hired her for the podcast, and she's still working for us, So it's amazing how you can change a life, not even just with your own program, but also outsourcing basically stuff that you don't want to do. And you're actually changing lives in that matter as well. So now let's look at, I know I know you want to talk about the present, but you must have some long-term goals, right, for yourself as well in the future. What are some of those goals that you want to accomplish?
So by 2025, I will be on the ClickFunnels stage talking, and I will present my strategy, what in 2025 it's already being manifested. And my goals for the future is not to build a real huge team or like a real huge program where I can't accommodate to everybody, but I want to have an inner circle program that's going to be built or based on community. Because right now we're doing one-on-ones with our inner circle. I want to build out a program that's going to teach basically an individual, if they don't have an offer, on how to create that offer from the ground up, right? By using the big domino and all these different things to figure out what their offer is going to be. But right now, my program will teach you how to promote anything, but it doesn't teach you how to build anything. And so that's our next stepping stone, is teaching individuals on how to build whatever it is. We work with personal trainers. We work with bookkeepers. We work with all kinds of individuals one-on-one that are having mad amount of success. But I want to be able to bring somebody in that doesn't want to say promote a program. But I want to give them options, because it's really hard for us to give a person something to promote and then them like it, right? Or they'll sit in the sidelines for years and not have that special thing they want to sell. So my next stepping stone is going to be basically teach people how to build out 5-day challenges and build out their own offers from the ground up, through messaging, through emails, through everything, even the slide decks, because we have enough slide decks right now. We have enough basically assets right now to construct exactly what we want. We just need to find the time. So the immediate future is building up the linchpin, the continuity program 100%. We're going to have 3 levels to it. And then we're going to also have like a software coming along with it. So like a funnel builder, an autoresponder, and that's being built out actually right now for a snapshot and go high level. So that's going to be part of our continuity. And we're going to probably make it $1,000 down to work with us. And then it's going to be $297 a month. Or we're going to go $5K down. All right, because that's what our offer is. Selling one to many, it builds a lot of inspiration to purchase at the end of it. So we'll do $5K down. At the end of 6 months, we're going to go to $297 a month if they want to continue to build that continuity. Because right now we're doing about $35,000 each month recurring payments, but we want to get that to 100. So I figured if we bring 100 people in at $297 a month, we'll be bringing about $40,000 each month. So we get 200 people in on a continuity coming into our masterminds, where we'll have coaching every single day of the week. So Monday through Friday, it's going to be ranging from paid ads to branding through automation, all integration. So we're going to have something going on each day of the week, so I can remove myself as showing up to my masterminds each and every week by myself. I'll maybe do one a week, but they'll be able to jump on a call with a coach, so we can do it in a larger scale. So there's literally one-on-one coaching calls every single week. Move that to continuity, and I think that continuity program is going to put us at the 100 million mark by, I'm hoping, 2025, 2026.
That's really cool. That's a great goal, and it really speaks to what I'm seeing here in this interview. Is you're clear on your goals, you're clear on your strategy, you're clear on what you need to implement in order to get there. And that's why I could talk to you forever, Eric, because you know your shit, and you explain it very well, and you're clear on what needs to happen to get to where you want to go. But I do want to be respectful of your time, of course, and because we're coming up on the hour here, and I think I'm about to blow away here at the beach because the wind's picking up. So let's get to the final thing that we do here on Evolved Marketing Podcast. And as a token of our appreciation for you coming on, we like to turn the tables and give you an opportunity, if you wish, to ask Andrei and I a question, and we'd be happy to answer it the best we could. So if that's something you want to do, now's the time.
So we'll start with, I guess, individual, and then we'll go together as a group. So Brian, you've been in this for 11 years now, right? You've seen all kinds of people come, people go. You've built out many different programs. What does the future look like for you? What is your next 2-year goal, based on, like, I guess what you have with Andrei going on, but like just by yourself? What is your 2-year goal looking like based on this podcast and the 2,000 or 20,000 downloads now? What is your goal like in the next 2 years?
Yeah. So the next 2 years is I'm continuing to build out the linchpin like you are, the different pieces, focus on the continuity. I'm about 80% of the way there, but if people are familiar with it, I need a dramatic demonstration number 2. So that's going to be going on. Same thing with you. Looking how I can add the next program that takes people on the next step of the journey, beyond the beginner phase. How do you build out your own stuff in the right way so you can sell it and fulfill on it without stressing out? Those are the things that I want to do really over the next year. But that, things go. Sometimes you want to tweak them. Sometimes you want to shift them a little bit. Sometimes you want to make them better. And it might take 2 years. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And then long term with this podcast, one thing that the security that I've built has allowed me to do is start thinking more long term. I'm not in survival mode. So this podcast, we talked about it before we started recording here today. We don't make any money on it. We're not promoting anything directly. We're just trying to hear stories, make connections, network. But I plan on doing this for, ever or however long it makes sense. And that's the game now. It's like, okay, what can I do to make sure the future I'm known, people are coming to me for assistance. I'm helping people. The people I help are helping other people just to grow the network that way. Hopefully never have to worry about money again. That would be the ultimate goal, right? Just to be able to do what you want, give back where you want, raise your family where you want, take them vacations where you want. And that part of that comes down to continuing to put value out into the universe.
100%. 100%. Andrei, what about you, my brother?
So, like how I mentioned, I have my Spanish program now, which is fairly new still, but it gave me that excitement back. Okay, because just promoting products, being an affiliate marketer, it gets kind of old after many years. You're going through the same routine, you keep doing it. But now, as soon as I created this, I felt more motivated than ever. My students are getting results. People are learning for the first time. People are getting their first commissions for the first time, and it's just a market that is not really touched so far. So I'm a little ahead of the game right now. But yeah, I have that excitement. I was looking for that excitement again because I was like, oh, maybe I should just stop doing this completely,
For sure.
But as soon as I found this, now, I'm more motivated than ever. And, I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing. And I'm just happy right now with my business, 100%.
That's good, man. You guys building something great with the podcast. And in the future, I know an individual that has a podcast with like 200,000 downloads, but he puts 1,000 plus people in his challenges every single month because of his podcast. So that's, it's really good. And that, he does a free challenge. So you guys are well on your way to make this thing really blow up and help a lot of people. Because if people just listen to your podcast and just take bits of information from each person that comes on, there's a lot of strategy, I'm sure, that is uncovered during these podcasts. And it's a lot of value for people to take it to the next level. So I truly appreciate both of you guys, and for a partnership, let me get one last question there. For a partnership, because it would be the last thing on my mind. When I seen you guys like teaming up together, I was like, how did that even happen? But for a partnership, like, how did this all come together? Like where did they all like mold in together? How did this work out?
I'll let Brian answer this one.
Okay, so he likes the way I tell it better, but yeah. So we first got to know each other when we were both asked to speak at a mastermind for a particular program that we both promoted. So that's how we first got to know each other. And I really liked Andrei really from the moment I met him. And then last year, not this most recent year, but back in 2022, Funnel Hacking Live, we were there together in person again, and we were sitting poolside, and he proposed this idea of a podcast together. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to add something to my plate. I don't want to have something that I have to do every single week. But then we smoked a cigar and maybe had a cocktail or two and talked about it a little more. And then we met a gentleman who helps other people start podcasts and is really an authority in the space. His name is Travis Chappell. He was on a past episode. And it kind of clicked for me at that point. Like, with short form content and TikToks and Reels, podcasting is one of the last truly great long form platforms, right? There's not much long form content anymore, and people still seek that out, like you said, to come get the tidbits, the gold nuggets, the value. And at that point, it made me realize that it was necessary, and it was my duty to put out that long form content to help other people. And I said yes. And then in 3 weeks, I think we were ready to go, and we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know what hosting was for podcasting. We didn't know how to get a name. We didn't know anything. But within 3 weeks, we launched our first episode, and this is episode 51 now. We've been doing it consistently, and it's nice to have a partner because it keeps you accountable. Yes. I'm sitting here in the rain now, and it's like, did I really want to do a podcast on vacation? But you offered your time, so I wanted to take advantage of that. And Andrei's there; he's counting on me as well. So here we are, and that's how it all came to be.
Love it. Yeah, it's a good duo you guys have going on. We have a great duo and a great partnership. I can see, and many great things happening for you guys in your future, 100%. So just keep changing lives. Andrei, you definitely tapped into a market that's untapped. And I know one other person that's doing an affiliate program. It's Camilla. She's going to be doing an affiliate program in in Spanish as well, I believe. She's going to start her own program. So, you guys are the leading forces in this Hispanic affiliate marketing. I can see a great future for you in that business, brother.
Thank you so much, Eric. Well, we appreciate your time. We don't want to keep you so long.
Okay.
It was a pleasure having you on the show. One last thing, how can people find you if people want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can just go to Facebook. It's Passive Income Eric, or just look for my name, Eric Forner, EricForner. That, or just look up the 5-day businessbuilderchallenge.com. We're doing them every single month and they're free.
Awesome. There you guys have it. We'll make sure we'll link it in the description so you guys are able to find it. Well, thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate your time.
All right, brother. You have a good day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you, listener. And we appreciate it. Rewatch this episode because I know you're going to get a ton of value. I'm actually going to rewatch this episode once it's published because, like I said, Eric knows his stuff and he delivered it incredibly well. But we appreciate your time if you stuck with us, and we'll see everybody on the next episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast.
Keep changing lives.